Hello everybody, my name is Akimley. I'm going to keep this introduction pretty brief, but I just wanted to talk about something. I spent a lot of time on this video, around like 30 hours, 40 hours, just editing and also the mixture of editing and also recording the video in the first place, so this has been very mentally draining. If you don't mind subscribing, that would help me a lot. Thank you, and now enjoy the video. Alright, really quick, let me do a rundown of the rules. Number 1, you have to use only junk items whenever applicable, so only frying pans, glass bottles, and spoons. I'm fairly certain these are the only junk items you can really use as weapons other than pots, but I don't use pots because I'm not a loser. Number 2, the tutorial doesn't count, you can't skip it, there's no way to go around it, it sucks, whatever. And then number 3, yeah, there isn't really a number 3, just follow the first two, that's it. When I first booted up the game, I immediately went to the tutorial. I proceeded to attempt to kill some walkers with limited effect.
Fuck. Ignore that. Fuck! Come here!
And then I sniped the tutorial guy. After this, ending the tutorial. After 100% listening to whatever Henri was talking about inside of his little fireside story, I decided to be a real man and go inside of a graveyard that definitely doesn't have any zombies inside of it. Maybe I was wrong about there not being any zombies in here, but at least I know their biggest weakness. Doors.
Imagine not being able to open the gate. Idiot. Idiot. Moron. Can't open the gate. Idiot.
I had a long conversation with Henri.
Hi. Bye.
And then I was introduced to my battle bus. After rummaging through the old man's stuff, I was able to figure out that I needed to go to a blue mansion of sorts to find a microphone so I can talk to some wimp kid over a radio. After scrapping everything that I could get my hands on, I proceeded to drink myself to sleep. When I woke up, I decided to start setting up the radio and then head out on my journey. Whenever I reached land, I met a woman and had a very long conversation with her.
Already got a weapon. Oh, yeah. And hello.
I need your help.
Need my help?
Walking down the streets, I was able to kill my first zombie with a little bit of effort. After this, I decided that the best course of action was to simply climb instead of using the front door because no one uses front doors. Once inside the building, I quit. For over 3 hours. Yeah, I suck, I know. Once I came out of my hiatus, I decided that in the Blue Mansion I was going to rummage around and look for some loot. Because one important thing in this challenge is being able to get shot and keep moving. Luckily for me, I was able to find a crowbar, which I wasn't able to use. However, that might come in handy for scrapping later. After rummaging around, I was able to find some of the inhabitants inside of the building. Looking around, I was able to find what I had come here for in the first place, which was a little microphone. After looting a bit more of the building, I decided to go into the little library section to figure out what goodies were in the safe so I could scrap them for later. After going up into the attic, I proceeded to tell Ruben something very important.
You've got mail.
After telling Ruben what was so important, I decided to go outside and met a couple friends. After spooning a couple idiots' brains out, I decided that it was time to go home and maybe rest for a little bit. Once I got home, I decided to repair the radio and definitely not skip the dialogue with whoever is on the other end. After I said after too much, I decided to maybe switch it up a little. Oh, and also, from the story, some idiot decided to interrupt me and the bunker person's conversation, therefore I'm going over to them to blow their brains out. Once I got inside of the catacombs, I was able to find a couple friends inside of there who seemed to be able to multiply. With no more weapons available, I waited for the zombies to get out of my range before I dashed for the key and went back. Once I realized that there was no one there to be able to stabby in the face, I got disappointed, but was also excited because I was able to do a mission. Once I got home, all bloodied up, I decided enough was enough and I was going to bed. When I woke up, I immediately got up to go do my mission. Once I arrived, I started going around the streets, looting as much as I could, finding as much loot as I could for my armor. Once I took down a couple zombies outside of the tower base, I became the embodiment of stealth and was able to get the package. Once I was done with that, I decided to go outside to do a couple bottle tricks while taking care of a couple friends. And then, like the little rat I am, I scurried over to my little boat to be able to get the hell away from this area. Once I got back to the bus, I proceeded to fall right asleep, and then in the morning talk to Casey, who is the guy over the radio, otherwise known as a wimpy little kid, and then I was able to figure out what I needed to do next. After speaking with the idiot, I proceeded to go over to wherever May had left her stuff, and also wished I could have killed her, but alas, she was nowhere in sight. Now that I had done everything I needed to do at the bus, I then got into my boat to go travel into the wasteland. Once I got to the location, I then went around picking up whatever supplies I could while proceeding to my target, which is a pump for Jesse, otherwise known as the Wimp Kid, so that I can save him from his little water den. Walking around, I found the most legendary weapon of them all, the weapon that will be able to make me win this challenge.
Frying pan!
I tested out my frying pan on a walker who apparently was frying pan proof because I kept attacking him and nothing happened. And then after I had gotten all my frying pan rage out, I walked upstairs to find a bunch of freaks wearing red, asking me to kill a kid. Of course I obliged.
Fuck you, bitch!
After watching a man phase through a door, I then got my red freaks and decided to attack a bunch of blue freaks so that I can get my pump to save my freak. Once inside, I started cosplaying as Captain America with my frying pan because apparently, in the Walking Dead universe, frying pans are bulletproof. When the dust settled and the skirmish was over, I was able to find the pump I was looking for.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Outside of the houses, I dealt with some walkers with Old Reliable. And then, sticking it to the walkers and also humans alike, I got in my little dinghy raft and proceeded home. Once at home, I got everything that I'd gotten from my run and threw it away as fast as possible, and this is just sped up to give you an idea. When I was done with recycling to save the Earth, I went over to see May, and you'll never guess what I did.
Oh boy, smooching time!
He's just standing there, menacingly.
British?
Marty, I'm bored. I'm gonna kill you.
Well anyways, now that I killed May, I won't have to do any of her fetch quests, and also I already have the waterfall key, so half the game is already completed. Well, I went back to the bus, started talking to Casey, and then went to bed. Waking up the next morning, I reassembled the pump, finished talking with Casey, and then left. Arriving back near where I killed May, I stabbed a zombie in the gut so that I could get its guts and put them all over me, masking myself so that I can pretend to be a zombie.
Hey, are you a zombie? Or
When those girls
we have a party, we have friends.
We're coming for you, Barbara. Folk, aren't you? Once I was done putting the pump where it had to go, I then proceeded back home to do whatever I was going to do, which I think at this point I was too stupid to realize how the system worked of traveling, so I just did a couple scavenger missions. Oh wait, it looks like there's an old friend right here. Henri, meet Frying Pan.
Bonk! Bonk! Boink! Bonk! Boink! Bonk! 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 Boink! Boink!
When I was finished dealing with Henri, I then went to bed because I was a sleepy boy. When I woke up from my coma-like sleep, I then got on my little dinghy boat like usual, but this time I didn't really have a plan. I was just going to a random location to get some loot because I wanted to be a thick boy with a bunch of armor. That way, zombies and people will leave me alone. I looted the blue house on this street and committed a crime worse than anything I've ever committed before. I ignored a frying pan. It is my job, my duty, to liberate as many frying pans as possible. And I have failed. I have failed as a pan Jedi.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this.
Pots.
Not join them! Bring balance to the Force! Not leave it in darkness!
There's not much to note about this loot run. I just picked up a bunch of stuff. There is two things, however. Number one, I found this lady who apparently was really good at killing zombies, and also I found a suspicious looking keyhole, which I definitely won't come back to later. Anyways, there's not really much here, so I'll just show you me leaving. Once I got back, I threw away all the stuff that I didn't really need, so yeah. After that, I got the whiskey bottle and went back to bed once again. Whenever I woke up, because it was probably really late, because I mean, come on, let's be honest. If it was a zombie apocalypse, you would sleep in. Most likely. Either that or you would be dead, but hey, win or lose some. And I decided, of all things, to go to Rampart High School. I think I was going there to see if I could do parts of the story early or something. You can't. It was kind of pointless. I only really found one thing here, and that's this key, which might come in handy later. Not too much happened here. I just killed some things. Yeah. I'm just gonna skip ahead and go to me leaving. After another successful loot run, most of my stuff was actually pretty well upgraded. I had decent armor, I was able to have decent stats, things like that. Of course, any upgrades with weapons are all but ineffective because I am limited to only junk items. Oh, and I'm going back to bed once again. Waking up in the morning, I decided to go to the same place again. Probably to use the key, but whatever. I'm just going to speed everything up because who cares? Once I got home, I recycled, and then I went to sleep, yada yada yada. Today when I woke up, I decided to do the genius idea, and very unique idea, of scavenging once again, except this time it was Bastion. Yeah, I'm gonna skip this again. After doing another run, I scrapped some stuff and then went to bed. The same usual stuff every single time. When I woke up, I immediately got my boat because this time I actually had a mission from Casey to go get yet another pump because we need to unflood his situation. I then met a guy who seemed interested in me helping him, but I wasn't that interested. Walking around, I found myself finding a bunch of friendly faces. Or, well, they were friendly until I put a spoon into them. Walking around, I looted as much stuff as I could before I eventually found what I was looking for. When I was done with what I needed to do in that area, I skedaddled out of there. Back at home base, I talked to Sewer Boy and was able to get some information. I needed to place the sewer pump in the same place as the others. In the dead of night, I walked out in my PJs still to go put the pump in, expecting zombies. However, it seems that some of the tower are taking interest. Huh. Let's hope that doesn't affect the story in any way.
Falcon Punch!
When I get back, I start talking to Casey, who, for some reason, seems to want to talk about his life. I do not care about your life, Casey. You are a means to an end. Specifically, the end of the game.
Nothing to me.
Then I go back to bed once again. When I wake up, Casey gives me the mission to find out what happened to his squad. Spoiler, they aren't okay. I found Sewer Boy the sequel, who I was able to talk to for a very long time.
Is your name Kenneth?
Yeah.
Alright, I found Kenneth. Bye, Kenneth.
I then left so that I could report to Casey that I murdered his best friend in cold blood. When I got back, I told Sewer Boy an in-depth situation report of how Kenneth killed his squad, even though I never really talked to the guy. I guess I just learned that telepathically. After being the guy's therapist, I said, "F this shit, I'm out," and went to bed. Finally, Casey told me where I could find the third and final pump. That way I could end this nightmare. I then ran into the leader of the Red Freaks and had a very, very long conversation with him.
Patience was beginning to be tested. Let's start with a formal introduction.
Nice to meet you, John Baptiste. I'll see you later. Bye.
Once I was done with him, I met the leader of the tower, who, on a usual occasion, I would kill, but they were too heavily armed, so I just bragged that I had killed their opposition and left. At home base, I was ordered to put the pump into the system that I had stolen the key from May's dead corpse. When I got back, Casey pumped up the pumps, and then a giant light in the sky attracted both the tower and the reclaimed to the location, and, well, basically it means I am fucked. When I walked down to the church area, I found something very peculiar and started laughing at it for a minute. Moving into the alleys, I took out any blue freaks who got in my way. Making it closer to the church, I was able to hold off for a second and then make a mad dash to get to the entrance. Bleeding out, I was able to escape.
I don't know what.
Once inside, I decided my best bet was to free the sewer rat.
Oh, it worked! Holy shit! Thank you, tourist! Oh, for a second I thought... never mind. The door unlocked. I'll head up and meet you in the church. Fresh fucking air! Woohoo!
When I walked into the church, I finally met Casey, and then I was able to have a long conversation with him.
It has my skin crawling. Knowing all those bodies from the massacre are just right over there.
And now, with the bell, I'm going to have a conversation forever with a lot of people.
Ooh, Bell! Hell yeah.
What's wrong, Annie?
I killed them all. They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too. They're like animals. And I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.
Once I finished making sure that pretty much everyone was dead, I went through the bunker, not really looting too much, went out the hatch, and ended the game, proving, yes, you can beat The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners using only junk items. Thank you for sticking this far,
Fuck yeah!
and I'm McKinley. I'll see you guys later. I've been alone with you my spine. And in my dreams I've bit your lips 1,000 times. I sometimes see you pass outside my door. Hello, is it death you're looking for? I can see it in your night.